Greetings everyone and welcome to a new first taste for the channel where we're going to be checking out the much requested Legend of Keepers. Legend of Keepers made by Goblinz Studio, a very thematically appropriate name, and is in a nutshell a reverse dungeon crawler. One of a small but growing, and I'm happy to note, growing genre of games in the vein of you are the bad guy and you revel in being the bad guy. Now there's quite a lot of games that kind of take this premise and perhaps take it in sort of a direction of this game. We are managing a dungeon here, but it's not so much managing a dungeon as you might think of as in Dungeon Keeper, or indeed Dungeons, though this game, from what I understand, does have quite a lot in common with Dungeons 1. Dungeons 1 has almost nothing in common with Dungeons 2 or Dungeons 3. It has a much more, you are just managing a dungeon kind of feel and much less of the overworld. In fact, I kind of feel this game, from what I understand of it, has a lot in common with a very little known gem called Tomb of Tyrants. In fact, I think that's a fairly solid comparison, as in this game you kind of design rooms and then watch the heroes go through. You do have a little bit more direct influence in this, whereas in Tomb of Tyrants you just kind of set up the rooms, whether they have traps in them or monsters, and what kind of monsters in them, and then you just wait to see whether the heroes get through or not. Whereas this one, you actually do get into the blood and guts of the combat between your forces and the heroes, and have more of a management layer on top as well, with kind of weekly events and stuff that you might run through your dungeon. But as with any first taste, and indeed any game, it is a lot easier to show than to describe. But with that in mind, if you do find yourself wanting to know a little bit more about the game at the end of the video, links will always be in the video description down below. Or if you'd like to see more from me on the game, then do leave a like or a comment to let me know, and we'll maybe see a little bit more of Legend of Keepers in the future. But for now, let's go ahead and set up a new game.
You're in search of something new. Are you an enchantress with an ever-insufficient magic budget? Are you a misunderstood genius? Sign up
Aren't we all?
the Dungeons Company. Assemble your ideal team, train your monsters to defend our treasures from ever stupider heroes. Feel free to give us a call by Crystal Ball at and become a part of the Legend of Keepers.
Was that Abyssal?
Congratulations and welcome to the Dungeons Company. As you saw on the job posting, your main task is to protect the treasures we keep in our dungeons. We don't have much time to spend training you, so please keep up.
Very well, I will learn on the job, not the first time.
Heroes keep coming to try and take our treasures.
Oh,
The
those
marketing
pesky
team
heroes.
has worked hard to promise gold and glory to these idiotic adventurers. We have a little time before they get here, so let's place our traps and our employees to prepare a defense.
Okay. Now, aesthetically, this has quite a lot in common with kind of the darkest dungeon sort of vibe. Not quite as grim dark, but it is a side scroller for all intents and purposes. But you're not the one controlling the group of heroes. You are dealing with the monsters when they encounter them, or in this case, a bone catapult. Minus 10 morale and applies Demoralized 2. Demoralized gives minus 10 morale on the next turn. Okay, not bad. It affects a whole area. We've currently got a barbarian, a thug, and a scout that looks kind of roguey, if you ask me. I imagine the smiling face is their level of morale. The double arrows is probably speed, the fist is probably strength, and the heart is, well, health, I imagine. Each one has various resistances as well as armor there. Can I click on it and hold it? Oh, I can. Oh, that's so much better. We have various abilities. 50 nature damage. Okay. I'm imagining nature tends towards the more poison side of things, but probably also healing as well. Applies poison. Applies 4 poison with this skill to the monster with the highest life at the start of each fight. Oh, is that like a passive then, whereas this is an attack? I imagine this is very much like Darkest Dungeon in that you have specific abilities that will affect positions in the row. This skill applies enraged to all heroes at the start of each fight. Damage and morale dealt increased by 30%. That's not good. You're going to need to get rid of you fairly quickly. 30 physical damage applies broken armor. Armor reduced by 40, but only to the person in the front. And the ranger at the back, 40 physical damage to the person in the back. Okay, and skill dodges the activations of the first regular trap encountered. Alright, so this is not going to do anything to you. Rightio. It's good that I can see the types of heroes that are going to be coming into the battle. I imagine this is the amount of encounters they're going to have up here. That does remind me a lot of Tomb of Tyrants.
An empty room in every dungeon.
Okay.
You can use it to ambush the adventurers with one of your favorite spells.
Oh, I like ambushing adventurers. And I also like ambushing adventurers with spells. Harkens back to the Heroes of Might and Magic days.
Some rooms are dedicated to combat. This is my favorite bit. Make sure you analyze each group of adventurers. Your employees are counting on you to prepare an effective strategy.
I don't want to be sent to the pungeon.
Pay attention to combatants' attacks and resistances. They are key elements for victory.
Okay. Good to know. Alright, so we've got a selection of peeps here. So I'm seeing that our barbarian is resistant to fire. Our thug... Oh, sorry. Their thug is resistant to ice a little bit. Barbarian has a lot of armor. That's kind of to be expected. Mostly, there is a resistance to nature, though. We've got two people... Oh, sorry. I may have been using resistant the wrong way around. But we've got two people who have a vulnerability to ice and one person who has a resistance to it. Two people who have a resistance to nature. One has a vulnerability to it. And generally speaking, air is kind of neutral. And so is fire for the most part. Well, actually, it is basically neutral. We've got one person who is as weak to fire as one person is strong to it. Your arm has fallen off. I don't even. Alright. Quartered. Quartered? If ever I see a name instead of Orc or Fire Elemental, I wonder if I can do that. Okay, well, Corded, you're an Orc. I guess Skeleton Magus, Ghost. I am wondering what that little symbol is down there. Can I click on you? No. Can I click on you? No. There. What's that mean? I don't know. Maybe that is purely your race. Right, let's have a look. You've got various resistances and vulnerabilities as well. But what are your abilities? 35 physical damage applies bleeding. -2 life on the next turn. Area, -15 morale. So I guess I could try to either kill them or just break them. You can attack the back. 60 fire damage. -30 morale if target is affected by at least 2 penalties. And area, -9 morale, applies 2 demoralized. Now, does that penalty include stacks of the same thing, or does it have to be 2 different? We're going to have to for science that one. You've got... you can attack... I wonder if the... Oh, I was wondering about the back and the front comment, but of course it'll be the opposite for the heroes because the back and the front will be on different sides for my team as versus theirs. A little bit of confusion there. Just mostly morale. You do a bit of air damage. Applies demoralized as well. So we've got demoralized is about the... Oh, well, actually we have got bleeding as well. So corded, that might be useful. You've got the most armor by far and away the most armor. What are you guys likely to do? I don't think any of you have any kind of fire ability, so that's fine. In fact, you've got a nature resistance, so you're not going to be as much of a concern. You will break armor, but I think, Gordon, obviously you're going to go at the front. Then I'm kind of feeling that Damien should go in the middle. And then we're going to pop Pelis all the way back at the rear. And we'll see how that one goes. Confirm. And I believe that's us. Oh. Dodged, as expected. right, let's have a quick look at this. Okay, so you lose it outside of the battle. That's important to note. What does that say? Really? You're fuzzing that as well? I mean, okay. I like the whole, I want to have certain things in focus. Wow, the details there. Well done on the modesty, though. You can't just hang up naked bodies without a care. The fig leaf is appreciated. Right. Show no mercy. Applies enraged to the next group of monsters. Damage and morale dealt. Damage and morale dealt increased by 30. I guess damage to physical and morale is increased. All right. Let's get that going. Why, hello.
The job also involves bullying these insignificant humans. No reason work can't be fun. You can, of course,
Fair.
kill them or terrify them so much they'll flee like peasants, as you see fit. Don't forget that in battles, the fastest combatants act first.
Indeed. Okay, continue. Right. The blood and guts of the game. Okay, so you automatically got an attack. Applies 4 to the monster with the highest life at the start of each fight. That was your ability there. Let's have a quick look at over these things. Now, you've already lost your demoralized. Oh, right, okay, this is giving me an idea of the effect of your morale. Unwavering, damage taken unchanged, but vigilant, worried and frantic and increasingly more concerned, and you take increasingly more damage as a result of that. Loses 15% of the hero's maximum morale when another hero is defeated, and gets 5% of the hero's maximum morale back when landing the final blow on a monster. Okay, so that's very important. Enraged there, damage and morale dealt increased by 30%, demoralized, -5 morale on the next turn. Everyone else is enraged, but so are we, so that's fine. Poison, going to take 35 nature damage on the next turn. How much is your health? That's not so great. Alright, well, I could just apply with you the morale, but I think we're going to have to go for bleed. You're going to be up... Actually, you're one of the last. Never mind then. So, it's all down to you. You can really only do one thing. Alright. Interesting. Why can't I do that? I am... Okay, so the first thing that I can see from this, I can clearly see the dot here does not tell me where I need to be in my arrangement to be able to use the ability. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to use Scare because I would need to be at the back for that. So I'm not sure why I can't use this. Maybe because I'm assuming that's telling me it'll affect the person at the back of their formation, whereas this will affect the person at the front. I wonder if there are hidden requirements to using abilities. Really? Mouth tentacles? I mean, I can see you've got them, but that's your chosen form of attack? I mean, okay. These are area abilities, and maybe we can't use area abilities right now. Either way, we're going to go ahead and drop a fireball down there. 78 fire damage. You have no particular vulnerability or resistance to fire damage, but minus 39 morale if the target is affected by at least 2 penalties. They are not. Pump. Alright, you're up. Okay, we can't use our axe ability. That's a pain in the bum. Not gonna lie. But we can use Scream of Terror. Alright. That is gonna wreck your morale. You are now at frantic, which means you're gonna take a lot more damage, which is nice to see. I disapprove of you getting involved again. Though, interesting to note, it's not current health. It's the person with the highest overall health, full stop. Okay, we'll bear that in mind. But once again, we can only use this attack, but there we are. You're a goner. That did hit both of their morale, though, as if they had died. Okay, you got a couple of morale buffs there. Ouch.
To my torture room.
Is anyone going to comment on the fact that our centaur seems to have human-like feet? I don't know what I feel about this. Yeah, I actually am fairly certain I do not approve. Right. We've got a frontal attack. Okay, well, we're actually resistant to quite a lot of things. Ice and air are the 2 big problems for us, but that's not something we're going to have to worry about. Alright, so, front attack. 80 physical damage. Regenerates the mass's life by 20% of the damage dealt if the target is affected by bleeding. Okay, area, 24 air damage and applies bleeding. Useful. And front minus, challenge, minus 40 morale. That would hit you hard, but I kind of like enslavement. Let's get some bleeding going. Crack that whip. You might actually die fairly quickly. Right, at this point, we can go for a whiplash and gain a bit of life back. Does it show me a prediction of how much life I'll get back? No, that's fine though. You're going to die from bleeding by yourself at this point. So it really doesn't matter what we do. But we're going to go for the enslavement just to do that little bit of extra damage. It will take out one of them, which, interestingly... No, if I could drop your morale a bit, then that actually might be useful, because that the thug's death might have caused the scout to abandon. But we'll just go with the area attack. And then the bleeding is going to finish you off.
You did it! I knew from the start that you had potential. Know that here in Dungeons Company, we reward talent and value ambition. Shoot for the moon.
Really?
And so, your training ends. I'll see you again next
Really?
year for your annual evaluation.
Shoot for the moon.
If you do a good job in protecting our treasures, you'll get the promotion you deserve.
Shoot for the moon. I feel you've been spending a little bit too much time on Reddit and not appreciating how close the moon is compared to all of the other things I could shoot for. You're saying that you're rewarding ambition. Shoot for the galactic core. I thank you very much.
Torture? It's a passion.
Okay. I fair enough. Okay, so we've got a couple of things to look down here. We've got missions. All right, we've got lots of things. Ooh.
It is inevitable.
Interesting.
So many ideas!
I approve.
Torture? It's a passion.
This is full of potential. So, looking at this, I'm guessing that each of these characters has their own kind of arc to move through. So that's quite a lot of stuff going down. Missions down here. It looks like we've got some characters. I'm really hoping that we can rename them. We'll have to explore this. Rewards. Perhaps something that we can pick up. But customization. Oh, it's looking even better. Looking even better for the possibility of renaming. All right. Well, let's have a quick check at Slaveholder. Info. Biography. Sure. Okay. Well. First name Maug. Age 54. Species centaur with human feet. Maug's main quality is his philanthropy, closely followed by his avid desire to devour human flesh and his strength unmatched amongst mortals. Originally from the tundra of Sorrow Shroud, I like the name, he likes to keep heroes alive as long as possible, and even the most creative monster alive couldn't imagine the horrors he inflicts on them in his torture chamber. Able to mix psychology and whiplashes in a very subtle way. There's nothing subtle about what we just witnessed. Maug is the paragon of happy management for the joy of the grumpiest employees. Ah, beautiful. Okay, well, let's have a look at talents then. Ooh, a skill tree. I wonder if this is specific for Maug and the others will get different skill trees. Each time a monster is defeated, grant 10 to 20% chance that the master gains shell 1. Damage taken from attacks reduced by 20. Or, grant to the master 50 to 100% chance to gain enraged each time he takes damage. That might be quite powerful. Damage and morale dealt increased by 10%. Intimidation deals 10 to 20 additional morale damage. And when a hero is defeated by a monster, grants 10 to 20% chance that that group of monsters gains enraged. That might be decent, though. From what we saw, I feel that at the point that we defeated a monster, sorry, a hero. Well, I mean, are they monsters to us? I don't know. But at the point that we defeated one of them, our entire team was about to get wiped. So I'm not sure that would be useful yet. But okay, well, we can't get as much information. As much information about what... I mean, I'm tempted to go with this just because I've seen that. But we don't actually get a detailed list of what things do next. Though, I guess you don't need a detailed list on most of this. No, I take that back. It's just... I guess these ones don't have as much to say about what's going on. All right, but I'm kind of feeling the whole enraged ability. Sure, let's go with that. There we are. Close. All right, next up. Look, we need to know. We need to know. All right. Oh, you can integrate this on Twitch? Well, I've suddenly got an idea of what I might be playing later in the next stream. Maybe later on. Probably not later on. I spent a long time today with Siri at the vet. My energy levels are low. I also spent the whole weekend streaming because I knew this was going to be the case. But that is good to know. Okay, so you can... Oh, very nice. If I'm feeling that my dungeons are amazing and my minions are equally amazing, I can give them a bit of a harder fight. Gold gains. Okay, so we get Bless, Master's life lower. All right, this is actually pretty cool. Morale, motivation lost. And game length. Oh. Now that one's an interesting one. I wonder how that one's going to change things up. It doesn't seem to affect things. And you know what? That dungeon felt short. I think we're going to increase game length. I really don't have any idea of what this is going to be. You know what? It's just it's a first taste episode. We don't know if we're going to be here for very long. Maybe that's something that we'll play around with if there's interest in seeing this become a series. But looks like we're just going to jump straight into the fight.
I am delighted to have you with us.
Okay, that's voice acted, so
Your
unlikely to be
fabled
changeable.
Management techniques. We're putting you in charge of a little team in the old empire, a region overrun by humans. It's up to you to gather the monsters in the area and teach them how to defend themselves. Turn them into great employees, ready to give their lives multiple times for the company.
Okay, fair enough. I like that you've got a little toy catapult on your desk there. I approve. Okay, choose a task. Now, this is the kind of management layer outside of the actual combat, which I quite like. It looks like we've got quite a few things that we can do. Right, current week. Adventurers. Frozen Caves. Then week 2, we've got a couple of events. Week 3, couple of events, so on and so forth. Very well. Employees. Let's have a look over here. Can I check this out? Team management. The team management allows you to choose in which rooms your employees will be deployed during the preparation phase of a dungeon. Okay. Employees defeated randomly lose 1 or 2 motivation. If an employee's motivation drops to 0, they will go in burnout for 10 weeks. My lord. Your employees get a 3 motivation back when they stay in garrison during the defense of a dungeon. Okay, in garrison. What does that mean exactly? Oh, so I have got employees, but I can choose which rooms they can go to. And garrison, I guess, is where they can just chill out. We've got various traps. Okay, so garrison employees, right. All right, I'm seeing where this is going, and I'm kind of liking it. We've got a couple of interesting employees. Can we move them around? Yes, we can. Interesting. Now, the real important one. Can I change your name? Please tell me I can change. No. I can. Is that how you do it? You just click on it. Well. Be right back. And we're back. Say hello to Nikoshana, Altero Pax, Oak, Brian, DH, Talon, and Hjarden. Thank you very, very much for all being patron supporters. Right, okay, well, we've got a couple of things to have a look at now. We've got a goblin who seems to have thug-like ability, so I'm guessing more of a rogue character. We've got Oak, has 50 nature damage, applies to poison. Again, sort of roguish abilities, but it's skeleton archer, of course. It's the bow, and it says skeleton archer down there. Fair enough. Alteropax, much the same as Talon. Brian, let's have a look at you. Okay, we're already familiar with your abilities. Hjarden, though. Okay, back 50 ice damage, and area 15 ice damage applies slowed. Speed reduced by 40. All right, 2 penalties. We've got bleeding there. We've got area slowed. We got another character that does good area effect? Applies poison 1. I'm thinking... Well, it doesn't really give us a very tanky character in front, though. Can we have more than one person? Oh, we can. Interesting. Can we have all of them in the same fight? I doubt it. But I guess we're probably going to be wanting you guys down here. Poison, bleeding. Yeah, it looks like we don't have a good area option while still having a tank in the party for us to be able to use this ability particularly well. But that's fine. I'm not as keen on having 2 people with the same type of ability there, though. So slowed and bleeding and poison will be better than bleeding and poison. And we've got bleeding, poison, and well, I mean, you don't really apply an effect. Well, demoralized, I guess, but more in terms of elemental damage. I think that's a bit of a better option for us. Down here we have a couple of traps. These obviously don't have morale. We've got the Rallying Horn, -10 morale, applies Enrage to the next group. Okay, that might actually be quite good. Morale Bone Catapult applies Demoralized. Good. And Circular Saw applies Bleeding. Alright, so we may actually be able to use this. So yes, we definitely want you in the second room, assuming the traps come before you, to be able to benefit from these, hopefully still being engaged on our enemies, these effects. Okay, that all seems pretty amazing. Rightio. And I guess we just click here. Frozen Caves, normal. Difficulty is 2. Disaster, nothing there. Resting Room, nothing there. Okay, Monsters, goals is 85 to 125. Very well. Go 350 right now. That was quite a guttural... Excuse me. That was quite a guttural battle there. Alright, so we have got a... trap room, a spell room, another monster room, and then another trap room. Okay. Can I move these around? No. That's a bit of a shame. Right. Well, Talon, I would like you to be up front. I would then like... What kind of abilities have we got here? You're a novice, I guess a monk of some sort. 35 ice damage, applies Frostbite 2 to all monsters if the target's life is under 50%. Removes, which gives 5% of maximum life as ice damage per turn. Removes the penalty with the most stacks applied from all heroes at the start of his turn once. Okay, it's only once, so that's not too bad. You got a lot of health, though. Oof. Not much in the way of well, yeah, not much in the way of armor. Aavak says, looking at a guy who's literally wearing no armor. You look okay. You never know. That could be some sort of enchanted loincloth. I don't know. You are pretty resistant to ice, which is a problem, but fine. Got a minstrel. Ah, bloody bards. Area nature damage. And applies dodge 1 to the hero with the lowest life percent at the start of each fight. Dodge the next attack. Okay. And that's life percent, not maximum life. Then we've got a magician. A pyromancer by the looks of it. Area damage of 25, and your skill randomly moves all monsters to another position at the start. Oh. Of the first fight only. Alright, so what we know then is you being at the front, no point. You have to move somewhere. Now, if I put you here, you might move to the front or you might move to the back. I don't want you at the back, so let's put you at the back. Now, assuming this can move you anywhere, does it say anything about that? So another position. It says another position, not one position away. So by putting you here, I've got the best chance of someone weak not being in the front. Nico Shana, I don't want you at the front, so I'm going to place you there. And Hliarden, if you end up at the front, well, that's fine. All we know for certain is that Nico Shana will either be in the middle or the back. The Hliarden will either be at the back or the front. And Telan will either be at the front or the middle. That is fine, but this is only the first fight, so I'm not going to have to worry about that in the future. I'm glad I saw that, though. Oh, that's a nasty ability. It's the same with Atranak. a game where I guess in this one you can use your abilities a little bit more directly, and you can also see what the enemies are going to be before you enter the fight. But in Atronach, any ability that moves your team position, which is the only thing you actually have direct control over from fight to fight, is brutal. Okay, well, moving on. Now, I would... The next group... It's the next group of monsters, not the people in the next room. I wouldn't mind getting demoralized going, honestly. You've got quite a lot of morale, though. Bleed is decent, but... No, let's go for the catapult, I think. Now then. We are going to want... You're not going to be able to move them around, so... Alteropax, you can go to the front. Oak... How much health have you got? 55, 90. No, I'm going to want you right at the back. Does anyone here have back attacks? No. Alright, so this should be a better composition for you. And finally, at the time we get here... Ah, interesting. We can't use heroes and... Oh, well, okay, that kind of makes sense, actually. Let's get enraged on our boss character.
Go get some.
I think that's going to give us the most bang for buck. Oh, perfect. I mean, well, it would have been perfect if you were at the back, but it's fine. It's fine. Poison Dagger, straight off the bat. Wouldn't be bad. Or Goblin Attack, 35 physical on the enemy at the rear. You can only do your special skill once. You can't use your special skill again. You do more damage, but you've got a lot more life. However, that's 15 damage on the next turn. Or just straight up physical damage. I think we're going to go with the Poison Dagger. Let's start stacking that up. Really? You're attacking me with Piper skills? I disapprove. Ouch. Okay. Wasn't great. Freezing Breath. Who's got the dodge? That is you. 15 ice damage applies slowed, which drops their speed by 40. You've got 75, you've got 45. Okay, it will have an appreciable effect. But our Goblin is still going to go before you again, so I'm actually going to try and take you out. I should have considered that, actually. Okay, so now I've got all of your abilities. I've got to go for Scream of Terror, but honestly, I just kind of want to chomp you with a pointy whacker. There we go. Really, that's amazing. A trapped shield. Sadly, you're not long for this one. Okay, you're probably not going to survive this, but you're not going to survive the next fight either. Chunk. Okay, we've started stacking up morale here, but it's not actually going to be the most useful for us. Show No Mercy. It applies Enrage to the next group of monsters, or Intimidation. Applies Terrified. Morale taken from attacks and traps increases by 50%. That's actually pretty good. 65 damage brings you very close to death. Should be a difficult fight for us. Who's going to get the dodge? Ooh, did you have... Okay, so the two of you had dodge there. Kind of disapprove, but fine. Toxic Volley or Poison Arrow. You will dodge this attack. At least this one will affect everyone. So let's go for it. This will get rid of your dodges, which is good. Hurt a bit. Not gonna lie. Fear of the Dead. We could go for extra morale damage and drop a demoralize, or just take you out of this fight. There we go. And get morale damage anyway. Double morale damage. Oh, glorious. You can't be feeling particularly good right now. I could just go for the cleave. We could go for morale penalties. This would put you at worried, which would increase the damage taken by an additional 20% over vigilant. Might be worth it. Who's up next? That is you. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the morale hit here to try and maximize the next 2 attacks that we have. There we go. At this point, we may as well just go for the strongest damaging attack at each point. And then fireball, please. And that's it. We don't even get to the second trap room. What did we just gain there? Oh, okay. All right, our rewards. You've successfully protected the treasure. Dungeon defended. We got 98 gold. Resources that rule the world. Heroes. Oh, geez, really? Gathered from Scary. Really? Are they Care Bear tiers though? Are they premium quality Care Bear tiers, or are they just tiers? Because we got there's tiers and then there's tiers. And there's also blood and then there's blood, but we won't go into that one. Gathered from heroes killed. Okay, so we can, I guess, pick a good boy. Can I conscientiously choose anything else? Let's have a quick look. So we've got a Knoll here. Decent armor, actually. So, front 30 damage, gains shell if the target is affected by poison. Damage taken from attacks reduced by 20. That's actually quite nice. And passive gains 15 to all resistances per monster of the group benefiting from enraged. Oh, that's quite an interesting one. Harpy. 18 air damage applies haste to monsters in front of the Harpy. Ooh. That's potentially really good. Now, interestingly, it just you have X many turns in a round. You don't get 2 turns, as far as I've seen, for being twice as fast as the slowest person on the enemy team. It's just the order in the round you go. So, depending on whether you've got an amazing alpha strike, this has greater or lesser application. Tiredness, though. Damage dealt reduced by 30%. And then the good boy. Front. 30 physical damage. Applies bleeding 3. Nice. Passive. Applies enhanced resistance to the monsters of the group at the front and guaranteed critical to the one at the back. So you need to be in the middle. That makes sense, because if you're at the front, then only the middle monster gets to benefit from petting the good boy, and if you're at the back, only the middle, once again. So the middle would double benefit. That's just unfair. Being in the middle yourself distributes pets evenly. We're obviously going for the skeleton dog. I mean, come on. Was there any doubt whatsoever? Motivation. Okay. Duly noted. Continue. Now, choose a task. Spend some gold to upgrade your active traps, or spend some gold to train your active monsters, or an event. Deal with office troubles and the business work environment for better or for worse. I'd really like to train my monsters, actually. Plus 24 life a week. Okay. Yes, let's go for the trainer. Okay, we need a name. Can I give you the name here? No, I can't, but that's fine. Oh. So that'll give you an extra attack. That's interesting. It would also improve your power and your life. Front. Attacks apply 1 additional stack of poison. Back gains dodge and plus 40 speed at the start of the fight. That's a nice one. It's a very nice one. 65 damage applies burn 3. 5% of maximum life as fire damage per turn. Alright. Gains enraged when a monster of the group is defeated. Applies enraged to other monsters of the group when the orc is attacked. Attacks apply bleeding. Oh, just straight up bleeding. So you could apply poison and bleeding by yourself. Now that one's a very nice one. You're still fairly weak overall, but that becomes increasingly nice. You'd also gain some extra nature resist. Kind of tempted. In fact, I'm very tempted, sure. Let's train Nikoshana. Oh, can I train multiples? I don't know how important gold is right now. So I'm going to hold on to this. For now. We'll see how that goes. Okay, we'll leave there. But it's good to know that I can just use that as I want. Merchant. Buy a monster or a trap from this unscrupulous merchant. Or a course. An opportunity to send one of your employees to an intensive training course. Or another event. What's alchemist do? Transmutes blood or tears into another resource. Well, I'm probably not going to do that. Let's go for the intense training course. You have received a letter from Monster Training Center offering to train one of your employees for a large amount of gold. The training would take 8 weeks. Training takes time. Did I just miss that being quite obviously and blatantly stated before? 2 levels, though. Look, I am the kind of employer that feels that the business grows as its employees grow. I will spend these resources to send Oak off to intense monster training. No, it's fine. You don't need to thank me. It's okay. I mean, we don't know how intense is. You might not want to thank me. Let's go ahead and deal with the event. We're not going to alchemize. Garbage chute. The Workers' Union has made a request, an anonymous suggestion box for the employees, even if they can't write. This simple gesture will boost morale. They don't need to know that the suggestions box will empty straight into the trash. +1 motivation for all available monsters. Okay, 50. See, I'm glad I didn't go for 2 trainings the first time. I'm very glad I didn't go for 2 trainings because it's a good possibility that 2 of our monsters are not available now. All right, and now we are on to week 2 adventures. Pretty much the same as before, but before we get down to it, yeah, that's a shame. Oh no, Nikoshana is okay, Nikoshana's back. Mind you, we did go through like 3 or so weeks there. So that kind of makes sense. Right, we need a new name. Say hello to Moo. I don't know why this feels thematically appropriate, but it does. Okay? Our dog is called Moo. Don't ask. The random name generator picks which name off the Patreon list, not me. It's just sometimes it picks ones that kind of amusingly make sense. Right then, Moo. I feel that at this point, Nikoshana would be better off in this group because of the ability for extra morale damage due to Nikoshana's ability to smack people with 2 effects at the same time. Yes. I very much like it. Okay, we're good. You're probably going to be the back, so you're going to get critical chance, and you're going to get enhanced resistance, so that seems to make sense to me. Alright, time to do another adventure, though we've got something going on down here. What's happening? Do I need to give you talents or something? I haven't got any talent points, so I'm assuming not. Customization, maybe? No. Oh, Archivist, okay. Hi. We will unlock the Enchantress when something happens. Don't know what that is. Aegis. Creature transfers their stacks of enrage to a random monster of the group when they are defeated. Legendary shield that absorbs and redirects energy instead of reflecting it, like an ordinary magic shield. Damage dealt by monsters to heroes at their maximum life increased by 100%. Okay, so there are artifacts. I guess these are just artifacts that I'm aware of for some reason, but sure, okay, I'm down with that. Alright, let's leave. And continue on, I suppose. Go. Yes. Go forth. Nope. Back, perhaps? Yes. Oh, I was worried that was going to take me out to the main menu. Right. Okay. Okay, more or less the same setup as before. Who have we got this time? Alright, we've got the Scout. We're already aware of your abilities. We've got a Thug, aware of your abilities. Not aware of the Exile's abilities, though. You can attack the back. 45 air damage. Applies tiredness. Okay, damage dealt reduced by 20%. Skill. Gives 25% of one hero's maximum morale back after a fight. Once. Alright. Okay, well, there's no shuffling around, so I don't need to worry too much about this one. You've got quite a lot of health for a back row combatant, so that should be okay. Got two people who are only going to be attacking the back, though, which is not great, honestly, but we'll see how it goes. We haven't got a lot of morale damage over there, so I'm going to go for the Circular Saw here. You can't beat a good Circular Saw, I mean, let's be honest. Next up, right, there you go, and there you go. Now, I'm a little worried about the back there, but we'll see how it goes. Rallying Horn, because that will buff our boss.
Prepare to die.
Hello. It's fine. Enhanced resistance. All resistance is increased by 20% there. And critical. Damage and morale dealt by next attack increased by 50%. Alright. Good boy goes first. Well, I did literally only one option. Chomp. That was a big chomp, too. I approve. Oh, I like that ability. Very cinematic. Freezing Breath or Ice Block. We could do a lot of damage in one go. Or reduce speed. So they don't get to go next turn as quickly. And a little bit of the ice damage as well. Sure, let's go for it. There we are. Right here. Scream of Terror just dropped their morale. I don't think we're going to be going for morale reduces with this particular run here. Another chomp. Stacking those bleeds. 40 life lost at the start of your turn. I'm afraid. Well, you get one turn. That's actually quite nice. I could slow them down again, but there's not really much point. Let's just get this. Clobber you with a huge ice rock. Yeah, let's just stack the bleeding some more. 45 lost in the next life. You won't survive. Much sadness there. There we go. Now you're going to start taking a bit of damage. We could try and pull the morale down. Because we would probably be able to get it down to the next level. But I think we're just going to go all in on the just raw damage here. Got to start stacking those bleeds. Oh, you scoundrel. Ah, that poison got us. Well, should be able to stack a little bit more bleeding. You dodged it. Of course, yes, you dodged a trap. Fair enough. Right up now. We could enrage the monsters coming next. Apply Terrified. Or apply Burn. Honestly, this will bring you right up to death. You'll die on your first turn. Which I'm all for right now. Okay. Going for the back. Stacking some bleed would be nice. There's no point in doing anything to you. It's not like our poison will move between enemies, so. Bit of pain. But now you're going to take a decent hit from this. Oh, well, actually, you won't. It will take out your ally, though. You are going to die, though. Oh, yeah, it's of maximum life, so. Rather than, because for a moment I was like, oh wait, what if it's current life? That's going to be a bit rubbish for me. But there we are. Okay, some interesting characters here. We once again, we're not getting any heroes tiers, and I feel that we're probably going to start regretting that. Okay, we've got a skeleton soldier. 50 physical damage up front, applies bleeding. Passive, monsters behind the skeleton soldier take 15% less damage. Oh, nice. You will protect your squad. The skeleton executioner. I mean, I'm really tempted to take you purely based on the way you look. Center. Oh, that's the first attack that attacks the center. Minus 40 morale. Applies demoralize 3. Heroes adjacent to the target take 30% of morale dealt to the target. Nice. Okay, that one's a very good attack. And the back. 30 ice damage and minus 10 morale. Applies frostbite 2. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. Yes, I think we're grabbing the skeleton executioner there. Sadly, a bit of morale loss. I think Hjarden and Talon need to sit out in the garrison to recover their morale. Alright, we've got a merchant. I could buy a monster or a trap from this unscrupulous merchant. I think we're probably good. We can send someone to the trainer, or we can take an event. Ooh, collectors. Okay, tax. Really? Can't even escape taxes here. Alright, well, let's get some training. Really, I can only train... Oh, interesting. Costs vary. I didn't notice that last time. I apologize. That was probably an important thing to have noticed. Front applies Terrified 2 when the Skeleton Executioner is attacked, and back applies Ice Weakness to all heroes at the start of the Skeleton Executioner's turn. That is a crazy one. The Nico Shana could go up to level 3. The attack would just get better. Or you could add a front fire attack. I think we're going with Brian. Yeah. Okay, we've got no more money, which is kind of bad. All right, collectors. Some tax officials have come to collect. Good job. They drink blood. I mean, do we get something good out of this? I don't know. Let's find out. These Suitan Thai vampires are here to collect taxes. However, blood is more valuable than gold coins to them. They could even grant you a monetary compensation in exchange for blood collection, and you would exceptionally be exempted from taxes. I'm not sure that that's the correct wording, though I could be wrong. Again, English not my first language here. Refuse, accept, or pay with my life. I'm not actually sure what the difference is here. Oh, that's my own blood from there. No, I'll allow you to take my own life. That's fine. It's quite a lot, but we're not seeing the heroes get to us anyway. A business trip or plunder. Send 3 volunteers to plunder the place of your choice or a business trip. Choose an employee to protect the sales department during a business trip. We'll go with plunder. Okay, volunteers. We've got Redneck Village. Got a pilgrimage site. Tiredness. Damage dealt reduced by 30%. Next dungeon. Okay. Risk of injury 35%. 1 volunteer. 3 weeks. Gain a decent amount of gold. Set a monster free down to 20%. Or attack a guard prison. Volunteers +1. Set a monster free 75% chance. Risk of injury is the same. More or less all of them. 75% tiredness. 3 for all monsters. Find an artifact. Ooh, tempting. But I think the odds of getting a free monster is pretty amazing. Can I select? Oh, they're just straight up. It's the ones that volunteered. Okay. See, I told you, good boy. Moo volunteered. Moo probably doesn't even really understand what's going on, but Moo volunteered anyway. Moo best boy. Your volunteers have snuck into the prison and left a trail of blood on their way out. They've even found a monster in a cage and have set him free. They have emerged unscathed. Hooray! That's actually quite good. I suppose the gaining of morale made a lot more sense for volunteers that had lost some morale. Agulug, a goblin drummer. Oh, that one's interesting. We do have money for another train. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. We may have a good fight ahead of us very, very soon. I'll go look. 18 air damage applies air weakness to the whole area. And allies applies enraged 4 to all monsters of the group. Nice. Passive. Damage dealt increased by 100% if the target's air resistance is negative. Very nice. Very nice indeed. 8 air damage and -8 morale. Kinda like this one though. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I think we're gonna drop 200 on our skeleton executioner. There we go.
Ah, I
Oh,
almost
okay.
forgot. The company owns several dungeons that need protecting. We only send teams when our specialists inform us that a group of adventurers are approaching. You will sometimes have the choice of several contracts. The more
Fair enough.
dangerous the heroes, the higher your bonus if you succeed.
And the more slow and agonizing my death if I fail, I imagine.
Thanks to the company's portal service, sending you to the other end of the world is a matter of moments.
That sounds too convenient to not be painful. In some way. But we do have 2 new heroes to name. So, let's consult the random name generator and say hello to Apple Fumble and King of Kings, and thank you ever so much for your patron support. There we go. I think that's a pretty nice place to wrap up this episode on. We have covered two forays with the adventures that have resulted pretty badly for them. I mean, if we're including what I imagine was more of a tutorial, given that I wasn't given free reign to use my abilities, I was basically using abilities on rails. I think the first engagement was a tutorial, but we have solidly put down several adventures. I would very much like to start accruing some adventurer tiers, though. Having a resource at 0 is always a little bit worrisome, and I haven't seen the Alchemist again. I'm starting to regret not having taken that opportunity the first time around. But that is going to be it from me. I really do hope you have enjoyed this first taste as much as I have enjoyed recording it, and do remember, if you would like to see more Legend of Keepers on the channel in the future, do consider leaving a like on the video or dropping a comment, and I will see you next time. But until then, and as always, do take care.